individuals today in the room. We have our Gabriel on our left, on your right. We've got Jeff on my right, on your left. The knowledge in this room. Steven's here. Mike. Do we call you Big Mike? Got game, Mike? Got game. You did a good job yesterday for those that watched the show. No, I wasn't yesterday.
That was great. The most views we ever had.
Is it?
Most views ever. See, the solution is not having it sound on that.
It's not quality, it's quantity. All right, so today's topic, an exciting one. Top line real estate needs frequency.
Yes.
Frequency. We need a lot of visibility, but we need, more importantly, frequency to get that volume of visibility. So how do we apply that in real estate, Gabriel?
Nurturing, daily nurturing.
So nurturing means we go and we try to sell to clients. Is that what you mean?
Absolutely not.
We need to convert.
Zero.
Right, Mike? Conversion is involved. What does it mean? Let's go. Where's the camera? Who's watching? I don't know where we're at. So we will talk to you. Just wait here. What do you say? I don't know where the camera. Who's the camera?
Focus on this.
Just tell me where the camera's at. Who's talking? Because that's who we know.
Talking. The person that talks has the camera. Do not focus on this. Focus on whatever you say.
The owner has quit. Live.
So we got some people watching. Joseph, again, joining us. Thank you so much for participating. If you want to share what do you do in your daily activities in order to have frequency? We have Maria, my lovely wife. We have David Lavage de Vite Boisfranc. Thank you for following us. And someone else. That's on, I don't know what, Instagram? We want your opinion. We want to know what you do in your business to try to get that visibility, that frequency. What does it mean? What does it mean? When you're nurturing, when you're engaging, when you're trying to connect with people, you need frequency. So how do we do that? Gabriel, go ahead. Go.
I think people were maybe kidding around when we were talking about because we got to close, convert, or sell, and so on. But the reality is, actually, most people think this the way to do it. But you realize more and more that the big players in the game actually that last more than most is actually people that just focus on nurturing. It's always actually a personal relationship. It's actually how's the family. It's always, and it's obviously extremely frequent. And it's not, I send you a card at Christmas.
Because it sounds so simple, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody should know. If you have a significant other, you will give them attention. Because if you don't, your relationship is jeopardized. If you're
so you want to go to the micro? Let's go on the micro.
Yeah, let's go into micro. Like how as a real estate broker, as a mortgage broker, how do you nurture? How do you create that frequency of touch? How do you remain top of mind by building a relationship?
I would say it's as easy as creating value at every single interaction that we have with anybody. It really doesn't have to be connected.
Get concrete.
No, of course. Well, add value. Well, look, honestly, if anybody calls me, whatever relationship I have with them, and they call me first to say, hey, I just wanted to know how the family was. I'm never going to cut a person off and hang up the phone. I'm actually going to talk to them. I'm going to feel like they're adding value. However, if they tell me that and then they say, oh, well, that's great news. Okay, yeah, I'm happy to hear that. Right away, I'm calling because I'm not a broker and this. I'll be, all right, great. Well, now I knew you were full of it.
What was it?
Right, exactly. So the intention has to, for me, creating the value is just if the person that you call, that you make sure that they know that your intention was really just adding value, being there, asking about them. Hey, by the way, last time you told me this, you told me that. How's that going? And so be a friend, just be there. People will always listen to their brokers, but they prefer shopping with friends.
So we have a question from Joseph, but before I go to the question, Gabriel, what's then, I lost my We're going to go to Joseph then.
You're not focused.
You know what? You know what's bothering me right now? I'm going to tell you. I don't know what we're seeing on Facebook right there. Is that Messenger on the top right?
No, it's a chat
But what about under the feed? What's the? I want to see under the. Is that there like on LinkedIn that you see with the people?
You see on the right.
Yeah, it seems like it's been.
It's blank on the right side. That's where you would see the comments.
But is that the post from Facebook or it's something you made?
It's Facebook right now live.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Same thing Instagram. Same thing. So Joseph, thank you very much for your question.
Honestly, I think it's important to be interested in their lives. Show up for them when they need help. Always be willing to answer any question they may have. Make them feel valued by checking up on them, I guess. Great. Well, that's a great comment, Joseph. Thank you for sharing that.
Joseph has been taking the boot camp.
Yes, well, Joseph's been following your boot camp, Gabriel. You're absolutely right. Very proud of that. We have Marie on Clubhouse. Thank you for joining, Marie. If you have a question, raise your hand. We'll unmute the speaker, the microphone, I mean. So, Jeff, how do we apply what we're talking about? And what are the two main things? Let's start with that, actually. What's the two main, most important thing that a real estate broker or a mortgage broker or an agent in insurance or a self-employed service-based entrepreneur? What's the two main things she should do? What's the priority? What's the priority?
What's the priority? What context?
The two things. If you have to do only two things per day, if you have to focus on
it's getting the business and nurturing. It's when I say getting the business, is building relationship and nurturing the relationship.
So meeting new people, building new relationships, exactly, and nurturing, making sure that you're taking care of, making sure you're adding value, and that the people see you as a value add. Like Mike, what we talked about earlier at our 3 o'clock meeting, you know, and you did. You had a perfect example. You touched base with someone, you said, thank you for doing whatever we did. Thank you for participating, and then they wrote back what? They engaged because you're not selling anything. You're not trying to convert and close. Stephen, do we have someone that wants to?
Questions or comments from our friends?
He says that we have some more people joining. Steve Tacker is joining. Thank you, Steve, for joining. We have another Gabriel that's joining on LinkedIn. If you have comments, questions, you want to pick our brains on the topic today, please feel free. That's why we're here.
That's right. So again, it comes back. So earlier in the French version, we talked about the nurturing the relationship, building the relationship. But when you get to you get at one point, you can get, I guess, overwhelmed with the amount of people you connect or the amount of new people you connect. As we said, obviously your objective is to connect with as much people as possible. But if you connect with 500 people, or 500 new people, well, you have to nurture that 500 new people. So how do you sustain that nurturing in your experience?
Well, in my experience, you can get to a lot of relationship nurturing before you want to go into tools and automation and more technology-based kind of nurturing. Because really, when you think of it, if the two priorities are meeting new people and nurturing, it's going to be quite a challenge to meet a high number of new people per day. Mike, you know how that is because that's your job. And so to meet 2, 3, 10 is huge. So all the other time, so let's say that takes you 2 hours of your 8-hour day. For the next 6 hours, it's the nurturing part. 6 hours of nurturing, you can do a lot of nurturing. So if there's 500 relationships, you can do in that house. Now, I gave you would understand this, but brokers will say, no, but I gotta show houses, I gotta do research, I gotta find the property paperwork, the administrative stuff. What do you answer to that?
Schedule. You have to schedule everything. Just
what does it mean scheduling?
every single
I schedule it in my head.
Oh, you obviously. If we have to go this detailed, sure. I will. Not a problem. So you schedule everything in your life from the second you wake up to the moment you go to sleep. And I would even do it at the very beginning on a 15-minute block because you don't know how much.
It's like you're having a meeting with someone. Like you would put it in the calendar.
For everything, for nurturing, for follow-ups, for follow-through, for fallbacks, for visits, for research, for going to the gym, for sleeping, for dating. It could be for anything, honestly. But everything in your life, exactly, once every 3 months. But it should be a must, not even a priority, but it has to be a must because so many of our brokers actually come and see us, especially let's say if they come from outside agencies, and they're going to tell me, I have the skills, I have a few clients, I have some referrals, but I feel I'm busy, but I don't feel I'm being productive. And I said, well, so what's your schedule like? And from the day, it cannot be more different than the day before because they have no written schedule. They go with the flow. They're being extremely reactive.
But don't you think that that's because they just don't know what to put their energies on, so they just go with the flow and they go with what they feel that day?
Every single person naturally is going to be reactive. The top brokers in the city and in the world are proactive. They don't wait to have to react to something because they're on top of their game.
That's a good topic right there.
And it's the reality. So you look at any field, the top players in that game are proactive. They're never be reacting to anything.
So how do we apply that to the topic today of the
I'd just like to say, out of 50-something episode, that's probably one of your best segment. So
There you go.
chapeau.
Yeah, you gotta be proactive with it. But, how do we apply that? How do we apply the proactive and the frequency to stay top of mind? Mike, we talked about this. Don't answer because you don't have a microphone. But we talked about it. What did we say? We said you have to give yourself an objective of doing a certain amount of reach outs, not selling, not nurturing. Hey, how's it going? That's a nurture right there. That it's DM, that it's text, but you gotta give yourself a goal every day, and it's gotta be big. Like if you have 6 hours, if you break it down and you realize I have 6 hours to do nurturing, how many people can you reach out to say, hey, how's it going? How's your day going? Everything good? You need anything? How many did you do? Throw me a number.
500.
6 hours, 3 to 500.
There you go. Imagine how you would stay top of mind if you did that with every client that you've ever met. And most don't have that many clients. Like think of it.
You got to go through your sphere also. Exactly.
And so to build or to get a business, you do the same thing, but you also have to nurture. So you could do, and you could and should be doing this, and this would be your priority, 80% of your day. So you take your calendar, as Gabriel was saying, you have 8 hours, let's say round numbers, easy math, 10 hours a day I'm working on my business, 2 hours maximum at the end of the day or split throughout the day for administrative things, 8 hours out of the 10 to do nurturing and building new or meeting new or putting yourself in front of new, like we're trying to do today, like we're doing. We did an event yesterday to meet new people. Yeah, that's what we do every day. Because it's what you should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
So if we did a live once a month, if we did most people would say, well, once a week is kind of a good number, and then your average, it's not enough to pierce through the sound to get the attention. So that's why we decided we're going to do 2 a day, 1 French, 1 English, and now we're going to add a third pre-recorded. Why? To get attention and to nurture, because it's simultaneous. What do you think? We do this video. We have some of our clients, some of our brokers watching, so that's retention, it's nurturing, it's adding value, we're sharing information that we believe strongly that would help them with their goals. And then what else? It gives us visibility to those that don't know us, so that maybe we'll start a relationship. Mike's here right now trying to engage with people connected to try to build new relationship and or nurture. So if we as a company are putting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people full on for a full hour on this project of these, there's a return. We're not doing this for fun and for ego. We're doing it to get what? To get visibility, new relationships, and nurture. And we need the frequency. Gabriel, take it away with what you're going to say. Stephen, you have a question or a comment? Maria is asking, my wife is saying, what I want to know is the frequency of guru conception.
Talking about one individual or the entire team.
So guru is what is guru, Jeff?
Guru is an energy drink, biological.
Oh boy.
Bio, just bio.
Thank you. Bio energy drink. It's one of the best on the market. I'm actually talking to one of the rep to sponsor us. So I put you on the spot.
I had 1, and Gabriel had 7. Also, it doesn't have the effect because it seems to be kicking in for me, but for you,
No, you just had one of his best seconds.
Exactly. The second I heard best thing when I said, I can stop. I'm okay enough for today.
we have Monsieur Aurélien who just joined. Thank you, Monsieur Aurélien. If you have any questions, comment, you want to share, you want to criticize, you want to tell us critique, if you want to share, comment, good or bad, please feel free to do so. What else? Who else do we have here, Stephen? We have another question. What's the question, Stephen?
Question is, Joshua is saying that it's not feasible to do that level of frequency.
Oh, so Joshua, thank you, Joshua, for your comments. So Joshua seems to say it's not feasible to do that many to sustain that frequency. What do you guys say about that?
I say, Joshua, you're absolutely right. It's not for everybody. And that's why there's only a small percent of successful business owners, because it is hard. It's very demanding. And that's why there's way more people that are employees and want a job, because it's hard. So, I don't know.
It's to say.
Well, it is hard. And most of the stuff we talk about is not easy. It's not intellectually challenging. It's physically, mentally. It's the commitment. It's the discipline. We did a show called Military Discipline, meaning it's hard. It's not for everybody. You do the SEALs team. David Goggins, which I like, and Gabriel sends me a lot of videos about David Goggins. Check him out. He used to be a Navy SEAL. To do the training, what's it called? The training. It's a 2-week program.
Next week. How week?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You gotta be like, most people quit. They can't sustain. But it's the same to have a business. It's the same to grow and build and get your business to a certain success level. So yes, Joshua, fully agree with you. Very hard. Not for everybody.
But on to the point though that you're saying, yeah, I will. So Guru's coming back in.
So we have Alex Laverie. Alex, nice seeing you. Thank you for joining. Hugo Boss 1642. I'm wondering why that year, but that's fantastic as well. Thank you very much for joining. If you have questions, have comments, don't hesitate. Guys, fellas, we have 1 minute.
Okay, Gabriel, go ahead.
I'll take it away with this. The stability that you're saying that most people are going to end up looking for through a job comes back, I would say 50% at least of it, not necessarily just for the salary, which we discussed last time, but really the fact that they have a schedule. They go in and they have the stability of knowing at this time I do this, at this time I take my break, at this time I leave, and I don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
And you can actually do that as an entrepreneur. Maybe it won't be for 8 hours, maybe it will be, but you can structure it, and you should the same way. So you actually acquire the stability even as an entrepreneur.
Yeah,
It's possible.
I like the way you your analogy. Like, yeah, I also, when I do these kinds of trainings about the scheduling and how to organize your time, I like to say the schedule becomes your boss. If you worked for me, let's say if you're an employee, I'm going to hover over your shoulder, not literally, but some days I will. You're going to have a schedule. You're going to know where to put your time, what to prioritize. It's going to be quite precise throughout the day. So for most that become real estate brokers or self-employed individual, you come from having a role in the company where that was done for you. Now you're on your own. Good luck to you. So you never had to develop this skill set. But the schedule becomes extremely important. It's like you have to wear those 2 hats. One side of you is the employer, and the other is the employee.
The analogy of the of wearing both hats, and that's one of the biggest challenge of. So I have to wrap it up. Fellas, always a pleasure. Mike, thank you for joining. There's said, no, you're not saying anything. You don't have a mic. Gabriel, it's